All right, Nick Baldwin for BloodyElbow.com here with UFC flyweight contender Ian Uncle Creepy McCall. He takes on Neil Seery, UFC 208, February 11th in Brooklyn, New York. Ian, appreciate the time. Now, first off, you recently left Team Oyama. You were there for a long time. You're now in Costa Mesa, RVCA.
Yes.
Talk about the move. Why are you moving camps now?
I just needed to change. I've spent pretty much my whole professional career with Colin Oyama at Team Oyama, and it was nothing bad. I just woke up one day and needed a change. And I got the blessing from Coach. Coach, if I didn't have such a good relationship with my own father, he's one of my best friends, I would look to Coach as a father figure. I mean, he is, realistically. And, he's taught me so much in life. So I'm the kind of person, because I have his name tattooed on my body. I'm so loyal, but I needed a change in life, and I couldn't leave the state, because I have a child and a girlfriend in the house and all this stuff. I'm just not that kind of person. So the next option was to go see my friends at RVCA. It's an amazing facility. It's more tailored to just a single person, and that's kind of what I wanted. I've had a long relationship with guys like BJ Penn and Jason Perillo, who's the coach there. So it just was a natural fit.
So you did leave on good terms, correct?
Yes, yeah. I'm such a loyal person that I couldn't, and that's my family. They helped me raise my child. They've helped me through all the craziness of my life. So I could never, say anything negative or do anything to hurt those people, because they're like family to me.
Right, and now at RVCA, you've only been there for a couple weeks, so it's still a new sort of situation for you, but who are some of the guys you've been getting into time with, sparring with, your coaches? Who are some of the guys you're working with each and every day now?
Well, Jason Perillo is my stand-up coach. It's one thing that I've been lacking my whole career, especially the last maybe 4 years or so, is I've been fighting with one arm. I've had 3 surgeries on my hand, 4 surgeries here. I've had a fracture and dislocation in my elbow when I was younger. I've had 3 infections in this arm. So, I wasn't able to use this arm like I should have. And now that it finally feels better, I'm able to box. Able to really box and not kick as much. So that's for stand-up. I'm still with 10th Planet for Jiu-Jitsu. And I've got Daryl Christians. Daryl Holiday is my old wrestling coach. Daryl Christians is, he coached Dominic Cruz, Jeremy Stevens, Jake Ellenberger, a lot of good people for wrestling, and for kind of, mixing in my striking with setups, with knee picks, and all the kind of wrestling stuff that I enjoy.
Has the new gym been good for you as far as when you want to train, not training too much? Because I know we talked about you training not that much, not as much as you once did. Have they been good for that? Being able to adjust to your schedule when you want to train, you're training. When you don't, you're not. Have they been good for that?
Oh, very much so. And I do what I'm told. So I just kind of lay it out. I've got Corey Beasley's the strength conditioning coach that I've always used for the last 7 years. And I just kind of left it up to them. I said, what do you guys want me to do? I've got 3 or 4 workouts a week with Jason, 2 wrestling, and then 2 swim workouts for cardio with Daryl. I've got 2 to 3 workouts with Corey a week. And then, I'll blend in my jiu-jitsu when I can get it. I'm not worried about, Neil's jiu-jitsu, which isn't something I'm not still working on. But it's something that I'm not worried about at all, because you got to think he's got a guillotine that he sets up on one side and finishes on the other. That's about it, and when someone comes to you and asks you, hey, like, don't take me down, it's kind of one of those signs where I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take you down eventually, so deal with it. But it's just something that it's the least thing I'm training is jiu-jitsu at the moment.
Now, this is, of course, the second time you've been booked to fight Neil Seery. You were forced out of the matchup in Belfast, Northern Ireland, fight week. You got food poisoning. Very unfortunate circumstances. Walk me through that fight week. When did you start feeling ill? When did you realize, hey, I ate something bad, I have food poisoning, and I can't fight?
Most people don't know I had some other medical issues for the last month before that,
What were those?
Just stuff. Just medical stuff I don't really talk about. But, I was in and out of the hospital for the last month, to be honest. I think this is the first time I've told anybody this. But then once the food poisoning hit, I usually travel with Eric from Nutrition for Life, who's my nutritionist and chef, and he cooks everything. Well, he got there a day and a half later than me, and he showed up and he got there at night, so we slept, and we woke up in the morning, and the UFC gives us free breakfast everywhere we go. So I'm like, you don't have to run off and go get food right away. Let's go eat breakfast because it's free, and then he'll cook me the rest of my meals. And that was the meal that got me sick. All I had was eggs and vegetables, and it was nothing crazy. I thought at first it was because I was hyperhydrating. I was water loading to kind of help my weight cut. By the time I was done eating, I had to go upstairs. I threw everything up, went back downstairs, kind of, just finished breakfast, was talking to my coaches and my team. Then we went upstairs again. I kept throwing up. And I figured it was because I had too much water in my system. So then I went to press day, and I didn't know how bad I looked, but I didn't look very good. And then I went back home. I tried to have him cook me more food, and he cooked me very bland, very healthy, but also very bland food because I was already throwing up. And I ate it and then threw it up, ate it, threw it up. I think I threw up 3 or 4 meals. He tried to cook me the rest of that day. Wow. So it was just one of those things, and I figured, okay, well, I'm cutting weight, so whatever.
How long did it take for you to realize, okay, I can't fight?
It was the morning of weigh-ins. I cut weight at night. I still felt horrible, but I cut, half my weight. And then I woke up in the morning thinking, I usually cut more weight than that, but I knew that something was wrong, so I was going to not cut as much that night. Went to bed as, I don't sleep the night before weigh-ins because I don't have any calories in my body. So, I woke up that morning, went to go cut weight, and I felt bad, but whatever, I only have a few hours, so I got to cut the weight. I think it was an hour to 90 minutes before weigh-ins, and my body just shut down. I started throwing up, and I thought I was having a stroke at one point. Like, my whole face went weirdly numb and droopy, and I couldn't move really. It was a really strange feeling. So once I thought I was having a stroke, I just said, go get a doctor. There's something wrong with me. And then by the time they went to get the doctor and came back, I was throwing up and it was a mess. So then they just said, you're not going to fight.
I imagine this was a bit more devastating than the Ray Borg situation, than Justin Scoggins' situation, because you were the one who was sick. You had to pull out. You had to go through all that. Is that the case?
Oh, of course. It sucks doing that kind of stuff. It hurts, And with Scoggins, he was just an idiot. Realistically, he just acted like a child and did a bunch of ridiculous things and then lied and all this other stuff. So that was more or less funny to me. And then when Ray got sick, I felt bad because he ended up in the hospital, and that's happened to me before, obviously. So I felt bad for him. And then going into this last fight, I figured there was no way this was going to happen to me. And it's almost like I'm too healthy, which is weird to say, but all my meals are made from my M120. The chef over there, Gene, is amazing. He was Elton John's chef and the Fertitta chef, so he makes all the food. It tastes great and it's very nutritious. It's what I need. He talks to my coaches, so we get everything in my system that I have to have. It was just one of those things where, you can't really help getting sick, I guess.
Right. Now, when we talked before the Seery fight was supposed to happen, you told me that if this fight doesn't happen, whether you get sick, whether you get injured, or he gets injured, sick, whatever, maybe it's not time for me to compete anymore. Maybe I should just hang the gloves up. Why are you still fighting? Why did you not retire with this fight falling out?
There's something inherently wrong with me, I guess. This is all I know. Realistically, this is what I love to do, and I just want. It's right there. It's so close. I have to get it done. I have to do this. Because I didn't win my last fight. And that was from mental issues and stuff where I just fell apart. You watch TJ, pick apart and just dominate John, this weekend, pure with wrestling. It's not that hard, and I was well on my way to do the same exact thing. I just fell apart mentally. So, it's just like a lot of things sitting in the back of my mind that I need to conquer. And now I'm finally healthy. I feel good in training camp. I'm busting my butt and I'm training, very, very smart. I'm getting everything done exactly what I need. So if I can show the world that I'm still here, that I'm still relevant, that I'm still a good fighter, then that makes me happy.
Are you happy that it's still that it's still Neil Seery? Do you care that it's Seery? Do you care if you were given another opponent? Are you happy that it's the same opponent you're supposed to fight in Belfast?
I feel like I owe it to him. At this point, I do. We've been talking about fighting for the last 5 years, probably. We've always wanted to fight each other, and he's actually, keeping off retirement specifically to fight me. He doesn't want to fight anybody else. So I got to say thank you to Neil for that, because, a lot of people would just write me off and say, okay, whatever, next person. But he did. I'm the only one he wants to fight, and then he's going to sail off into the sunset. So it's a big, thank you to him.
Do you feel like Ray Borg and Justin Scoggin should have to fight you?
I think Ray's going to get kicked out to 135 now because he can't make the weight. Justin, again, he's gone too. I mean, he's huge. Comparatively. None of us are huge because we're 125 pounders. But I remember seeing him in Atlanta, and I was like, Jesus, you're way bigger than me. I was like, and I didn't really think about it until after. I was like, oh, of course he didn't make weight. Ray never seemed that big. I mean, he seemed very strong this weekend against Lewis, which bummed me out because Lewis is my friend. But if he can make the weight, then sure, I'd like to fight him. But I don't think he's going to.
As far as retirement goes, is that still in the back of your mind? If I get hurt again, probably hang the gloves up. Is that sort of where you're at right now?
Yeah, with injuries, of course. If it's just one of those things. I've had so many injuries. I want to keep off retirement for as long as possible. I would like to get a title. I'd like to get, to build my way up, get 3 or 4 wins or whatever, 2 or 3 wins, whatever it is that enables me to earn a title shot. Because I, out of respect to DJ, I feel like I need to earn it. I was so close to beating him before, and then I blew it, and then my career kind of fell apart. So to give him a legitimate challenger, I think is what I need to do in it. But I don't want to be handed it. I want to actually have people clamoring like, no, this guy deserves it.
And I imagine you're happy that this fight is in Brooklyn, because I know you weren't too thrilled about going back to Ireland, just having to travel. Brooklyn, I mean, I imagine you're happy.
Yeah, definitely happy. It's just, they offered me a fight in England, I think in March. And I was like, nope, I quit. I retire. I'm not flying. I'm not fighting internationally anymore. It's nothing against England or Ireland or wherever else. It's just my body can't do it. So sure, if I get some wins in my belt, then I can go somewhere and travel. But realistically, I'm not going to travel anywhere anytime soon.
And it seems like, other than them wanting you to fight Seery in Northern Ireland a few months back, it seems like the UFC has kind of respected that decision.
Oh, big time. And UFC's never done me wrong. They've always treated me amazing. They've always, it's always give and take in business, in life. So they've always given me exactly what I deserve.
How do you see yourself getting the job done on February 11th, UFC 208 against Neil Seery?
Well, again, back to him asking me, to come out and fight and to not take him down. You're going to be on your butt eventually, because I can do it at will. I don't see any issue with that. I would like to show that I'm a better boxer than him, but we'll see. I don't care how I win. I'm very multifaceted in this sport. I can strike, I can kick, I can elbow, I can knee, I can take people down, I can slam you on your head, I can submit you, I can ground and pound you, whatever works. So I'm not really too worried about it. At this point, I'm just worried about getting a good performance in, finishing him off, and then moving on as soon as possible. I mean, I want to finish this fight within a round, because I would like to fight as soon as possible.
Where do you go from here? You're top 10 at flyweight, maybe top 5 still. But of course, you haven't fought for a long time. All these canceled fights. Where does a win over Seery put you in the division?
It just keeps me relevant. At this point, I don't gain any rankings or lose any rankings. Fighting him. I would like to fight Wilson Hayes. After this fight, we've been talking about fighting for a while. He's called me out. He's called me out a couple of times, and then. Yeah, sorry, my daughter's climbing a stripper pole in my house. It's a fitness pole, okay? Fitness. Relax, okay? So we are, so Wilson Hayes, that's what I want to fight. You can't call me out, especially more than once, and they'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm busy, not training, I got this thing to do. And you're like, no, dude, you can't, that's how it works. I know you maybe don't understand. It's a language barrier thing, but I'd like to fight him.